Hi, my name's Tom, and I'm just going to give a little demonstration about the Grohe Bridgeford and the Ladylux sprayer. I tried to look online and find information on this, and it was really not very much out there. And so I went ahead and bought the $149 part. It's the 46173 that they recommend, and so I wanted to show you what was inside that so that you don't have to spend the same amount that I just did. So what the problem is that at a certain point the spray and the stream basically look the same. So right there you can kind of see the spray and the stream are the same, and it doesn't really matter when you push the button on the back, the spray seems to continue. And we know that there's a couple of different washers in there, but we wanted to show you what they were. You don't need many tools for this particular aspect. I just have a pair of pliers here and a spring clamp. Pull it out, grab the pliers around this just lightly, give it a twist, and then this will come right off. And it's an O-ring that actually does the sealing, so it's not usually on very hard. Then I would just take my little spring clamp and put it right here so the thing won't go zipping back down underneath the sink. So here's the unit removed from the faucet. I put a little bit of covering on the granite so that it doesn't damage the granite. I have a rubber mallet, I have a 24mm socket, I have a flat blade screwdriver, and I have an extra pair of pliers. So the first thing I did was pop this out. On yours, this actually might be ripped. This actually can be popped out. It's a piece of plastic that has little snap clips on it. This you can actually buy separately. The rest of the unit you cannot. So the next thing I did was I actually took my 24mm socket, and you can see the hex shape here. You can put that over it and you can just twist. You can use a regular pliers for this, but I happen to have a 24mm socket. So from there, once you're inside, you can see that there's a tiny spring in here, and then there's an inner piece right inside there. So the thing about it is you want to make sure that that spring doesn't pop out. So you want to stick your screwdriver through the spring and underneath that little plastic bit and just pry it right out. That's the thing that nobody has shown us. That maintains the spring and it maintains the little piece that was in the center. So here's what I found when I opened mine up. This plastic piece had come off, and you can see it's in pretty rough shape. The new one, which I'm going to show you at the end of the video, has this it's a black piece. This is not a real O-ring. It's actually a ring that actually has a groove in it on the new one, but in this particular case, mine is completely shot. Inside here, there are some little tiny parts of the plastic that seem to be just engaging this and the case. So I just took my rubber mallet and I gave it a big pop, and that's what came out. So the next thing is that you can actually pop out this piece here. So what happens here is that you put your screwdriver through here, pop it out, holding it to the side. There's another spring in there, so you have to be careful. And you put this thing in here, and you pop the other one out. Now you can see the spring is here, the spring is here, and this is that piece that we were just looking at. So after I got the plunger out, this is what I found. This terrible piece of plastic that could be literally pulled right off. So this is the plunger without their fancy O-ring. And it's actually not an O-ring, it's actually a piece of plastic with a groove in it. So what I did was I took my 1.9 by 13.7 O-ring and I slid it over there, over the plunger, and then I pushed it up onto the unit here. Just pushed it around with my fingers. So I want to repeat that this is not a perfect fix, but it's certainly a lot better than paying $149 for a new part. So anyways, just stick the thing back in, take the plunger, stick it back into the hole, and you can kind of see that that O-ring now sits on top. So now I'm going to put my spring back in, You can see there's a little slight two flats in here, so you want those flats to be towards the front. It's hard to see in the dark. Drop your spring back on. Take your plunger piece here. It's got a upside and a downside. Push that in. Check and see if it works. Then the whole piece pops back in. Note that there are these two little tabs here that go into those two little tabs there. Just slide right in. Give it a good hard push. Snaps in place. You can kind of tell if these two little pieces are back in their same spot, you've kind of got it in the right spot. So here's the thing. Now when you turn it on, you get the stream and you don't get any of that little drippies out of there. You don't get a full spray, but you get a darn good spray. And that's just for the cost of one O-ring. There's the stream. There's the spray. And you get that whole thing for a couple of bucks, not $149, which is what the part is online.